Today's video will explain the difference between ISA and HASA. Hello, I'm James Helfrich. When designing a program with class relation in mind, it's often difficult to tell whether composition or inheritance is the best choice. But it turns out there's a large number of scenarios when neither is appropriate. This video will explain each of those scenarios in detail. There are 5 class relations which can be satisfied with neither composition nor inheritance. The first is disjoint, when class A and class B are unrelated in every way. The next is they're weak related, when class A uses class B as a local variable or as a pass parameter. The next is when they're related by scope. Nested classes are neither composition nor inheritance, though they can be composition additionally if you choose. Composition siblings. When 2 classes are used by the same class, those 2 classes are neither composition nor inheritance. And inheritance siblings. When 2 classes share the same parent, then those 2 classes, those siblings, are neither composition nor inheritance. Let's take a look at each of these in detail. First of all, disjoint. If 2 classes have nothing to do with each other, then neither composition nor inheritance is appropriate. So we have class A and class B, they have nothing in common. In that case, class A and class B are completely unrelated. The next is they're weak related. If one class is used by another class as a local variable, as a return parameter, or as an input parameter, then neither composition nor inheritance is appropriate. So I have class A and class B. Once again, they're unrelated by the Venn diagram. However, when I look at the class diagram, there is association. The next is related by scope. If one class is defined within another class, then they cannot be related by inheritance, and they are not necessarily related by composition. So I'm going to have an enclosing class and the nested class. So the enclosing class and the nested class are going to be defined within. Now notice that the nested class could be related to the enclosing class by composition, association, or aggregation, but not necessarily so. If 2 classes are used by a third class, then the 2 classes themselves are unrelated. Note that there is a composition relation with a third. So I have a composition class A and composition class B, and both of them are used by the enclosing class. A and B are unrelated. So the class diagram, I'm going to have composition class A and composition class B, once again, unrelated. But now enclosing class is going to have an instance of A and B. So A and B are unrelated, although A is related to enclosing class and B is related to enclosing class as well. The final scenario is inheritance siblings. 2 classes are both derived classes to the same base class. In this case, the 2 derived classes are unrelated, even though they're related to the base. So I'm going to have derived class A and derived class B, and they share a base class together. So the class diagram is going to have derived class A and derived class B, and there is going to be a base class, and they're going to be related to the base class through inheritance. Now notice A and B are unrelated, but derived class A is related to base class through inheritance, and derived class B is related to base class through inheritance. You can learn more about the different flavors of unrelated classes in the ISA and HASA chapter of the software design textbook.